My name is John Skees, and I'm the Director of Media for TAPS. We're going to get started with today's webinar in just a few minutes, but first I've got a couple of housekeeping issues to address. So first things first, this webinar is being recorded. You're going to receive an email with a link to that recording as soon as it is ready. It should be later this afternoon. Second, if you have questions, please use the questions feature in the GoToWebinar interface. You see that little pop-down menu in that sidebar. It'll say questions. You can type those in there. We're going to try to answer those as we go through the presentation. But if we don't get to yours right away, there is a kind of a Q&A at the end of the presentation. So we'll catch up on questions there. But if we don't get to your question today, or if it's just too specific to answer appropriately in this venue, please send us an email after the webinar at info@taps.biz or call us at the office. Okay, I'm joined today by Brian Bunselmeyer, TAPS Executive Director, Robert Huckabee, TAPS Associate Director and Director of Compliance, Steve Prudhomme, TAPS Associate Director, and Vina Williams, TAPS Director of Fine Arts. I've also got Will Dixon from the TAPS office helping us out behind the keyboard today. And with that, I'm going to hand it over to Brian to get us started. Brian?
Welcome to all of you today into this year, TAPS Fall Band, TAPS Drumline 2020. We're glad to be here. We're glad you're going to be part of this. Our event will be a slightly smaller event due to COVID. The pandemic has made travel impossible for a few schools. I appreciate everyone that's going to make the effort to get there, and we look forward to seeing you. Just as a point of emphasis, if something happens between now and Monday and you are not able to attend, do us this favor and call us at 254-947-9268. Go ahead and use my extension 1006. So you can leave a voicemail there over the weekend. It'll get to us immediately. So 254-947-9268, extension 1006. In the event something happens on the way, you can't get a hold of Ina, you can always get a hold of us at the TAPS office. We're going to work through a few things. You should have had a couple of emails. The TAPS band pages are being updated as we walk through. We look forward to seeing you all shortly. And at that, I'm going to turn it over to Robert, Steve, and Vina and let them walk through the presentation.
Good morning, everyone. Well, Monday, October 26th, it's on, and we'll be doing our second championship of the year after team tennis was a success earlier this week. And like I said, we're very excited to get up and moving again. We're going to have several media outlets that we want you to be aware of. Our Twitter, Facebook. We'll be taking photographs at the event and putting them on SmugMug for free afterwards. TAPS TV will be there, and we'll be broadcasting. And the TAPS fan app, which is very handy dandy. So please download that. Have your parents download that, because it's very easy to get to things like the network, ticketing information that you need. And we made good use of that earlier this week at Team Tennis. And that moves us on to tickets. We're going to have everyone needs to get a ticket, and basically it's a zero ticket. We're not charging anything, it's free, but we're needing that for COVID. And in order to do that, we're going to have you download the TAPS fan app or go directly to Hometown Ticketing, register for a ticket, and all the fans need to do that. If you're the band director, you're there signing and attesting for all of your group, your students and yourself. If you have your band parents, and the band parents are there helping, we still need them to get a ticket. It just takes a few moments to do, and it takes seconds if you have it to scan it. We give you a wristband, and we know that we've accounted for everyone there, and they've attested to being COVID-free and not having any symptoms. So again, it's something we'll have available outside the softball fields for those going in to watch Drumline, and the stadium for those going to the fall band. So have your parents do it in advance, but if they don't, it just takes us about 2 minutes at the gate to download and do it, and then we'll scan them, give them a wristband, and we'll move on. So those are some of the things that will help us to keep moving through this year, and again, gives us a database of who was there if we have to do contact tracing. Moving on, we'll be at the Waco ISD complex stadium, and the softball field is right next to it. You'll see it's very conveniently located. We have plenty of parking, and they're going to talk to you a little bit about where those buses need to be. Travel to Waco, and they use these big words. And as a basketball coach, I can't say conundrum, but it is a conundrum. There's other words for it. But going through I-35 right now, there's construction, there's some things going on. Brian and I went through there to Round Rock, and it was great. But you never know what's going to be closed or what's going to be happening. So please check. We have a link there to check the Waco I-35 construction. Also use your travel apps to see what's going on and find out what's going on with the traffic. And as Brian said, if you have a problem or if you're stuck or if you're going to be late, please give us a call and we can make adjustments and take care of you when you do arrive at Waco. But hopefully you'll just fly right on through. All right, Robert, talk to us a little bit about where we should park.
All right, Steve, thank you. Welcome, everyone. Good morning. Field and Marching Band, your competition, as in the past, is going to be actually in the stadium, in the football stadium there at Waco ISD, just like it has been in the past. And then Drumline, y'all were down on the baseball infield last year. We've moved you up closer to the softball infield. There's 2 softball fields right there across the driveway from the athletic offices there at Waco ISD Stadium. One of them is a turf field. We're going to use that turf field. We'll get the weather in a minute. We might have a little bit of weather on Monday. So turf field will allow us to keep the event going and not have any issues there. But that'll be softball field number 1. It'll be easy to find. We'll have it marked well, and you'll know where that is. We'll set it up much like we did last year. We'll have the infield performance area set up and marked off. And then we'll obviously have the stands for spectators there as well. And that's where we'll do Drumline. Be a little more convenient, a little closer to the field and marching band like we were last year. Parking and warm up. This is going to be important this year. Vina and her group has always done a great job of having that coordinated and marked well. Even more important this year with all of the issues we're dealing with in social distancing and staying in our groups and in our pods. So we have produced a map. It's there available on the information that we provided. It's on the championship page information on Drumline and on field and marching band. Please review that facility map for your assigned parking area and for the flow of traffic as you perform during the event. What we're going to do now, we have a link to that map in your championship information. We're going to go ahead and jump to that map, and I'm just going to kind of walk you through so you can have an idea. If you are the one driving the van or the bus, then this is important. If you're not, then please get this information to your driver so they can know exactly where we are. If you'll see the stadium there right in the middle, the spectator side, the home side of the stadium is toward the bottom of the page and the visitor is toward the top. That's important. There are a couple of entrances that are marked there. If you look toward the bottom, it says entrance 1 or 4. Those are the schools. It starts with Fellowship, then Lutheran South. If you read through those are the schools that need to park in that parking lot. So it's a huge lot. When you get there, we will have parking attendants that will be assisting you. But when you get there, just pick an area, park in an area that is away from everyone else. That'll be your designated area. Stay in that group, stay in that pod for social distancing purposes. And that group of schools will be in that parking lot there to the bottom of the page. If you look up now to the other side of the stadium, what's known as the visitor side of the stadium, up there at the top of the page, entrance 4, you'll see it starts with Pantego. Those schools, please park in that parking lot over there. Once again, there will be parking attendants to help assist you find your area and to stay in your area away from all the other schools. And then if you move over to the left portion of the page, entrance number 3 starts with Vanguard there, and those list of schools will park in that lot up there in the upper left corner of our map. So those are your designated areas. Please go to those areas. This is a huge, wonderful facility. There's plenty of room for your buses to drive around. If they get lost or turned around, it's easy to get back to where you belong. So please follow those areas for where you're to go to your designated parking areas. While we're on this map, I want to go ahead and walk through also the areas that you will perform. If you'll see the stadium there in the middle, it's easy to find. There's a little blue A marked there. That's basically the entrance on the visitor side of the stadium. If you are in field or marching band, you're going to perform on the field and you're going to come in that gate over on the visitor side. If you've been there before, you know where that is. You're well familiar with that. As you come into that area, that's the registration area. That's where you'll check in. When you arrive, go ahead and go over there and check in, and so we can make sure that we know you're there. That's where you'll get your packet of information. That's where you will sign for us your affirmation that you and all of your students are in good shape with regard to the COVID affirmations that you need to make. So check into that registration. You'll see it there. We'll have a tent set up right there by the entrance to the visitor side. That A marked in blue there, that's where that'll be your pre-deck area. So that's where you'll come to stage to get ready to move into your performance. Please look at your schedule and please follow that schedule. You'll do your warm up out in the parking lot in your area where you're parked. And then when it's time for you to move to that pre-deck area, please move to that area, the entrance on the visitor side. Just inside that entrance, this will be our first photo opportunity. We'll have our big TAPS pillow set up there, and we'll get a picture of your group as soon as you report there to the pre-deck area and you're getting ready to move to your performance. As the bands ahead of you perform and move on out, you'll move from point A to point B. That's over on the home side of the field. Remember, if you've been there before, that incline to get down to the field is pretty steep. There is a zigzag incline on that end of the stadium if you have big equipment to roll down and need a little help there. Just be careful doing that. But that's where you'll move from your pre-deck to your on deck spot there at spot B. And then as the group ahead of you finishes their performance on the actual field and then moves on to their clinic area, then you'll be prepared to move to your performance. And when your performance is done, you'll move out the other end of the stadium, up that incline, and out to the area that is your clinic area. So that's a basic flow. If you're in field band or marching band, of where you'll park, where you'll check in, where you will report, and then where you will move through the progression of getting prepared and then actually doing your performance. Steve?
Okay, we have a couple of questions. First question, some of these we've kind of answered. Do staff and students need tickets or just fans? The fans need tickets, and if there are band parents with you, they need tickets. School staff and the students, the band director is attesting to all students and their person or their assistant director as well. So again, you don't need tickets, but you'll be signing a form attesting that they are COVID-free and do not have symptoms, etc. How early can we arrive in the morning? Well, we're going to start setting up at 6:30, and we'd prefer nobody to be there before that time. But again, you can get there anytime after that. It's a big parking lot, but getting into anything will be a little bit later. We'll probably be having things opening up probably by an hour before, where you can get in, and also Team IP will be set up, and we'll talk a little bit about the team merchandise and things like that. So that's the first setup of the year if you want to go buy that stuff, and hopefully they sell out. Can we rehearse by our buses, or do we need to go somewhere else? I think Robert covered that. By your buses in your area, again, spread out where you're not near anybody else, and kind of remaining in your own pods, your own group throughout the day. So those are just a couple of questions. Robert, I'll throw it back to you.
All right, thanks, Steve. Another reminder for your spectators as they come in and purchase their ticket, if they're going into the stadium, they'll purchase it on the home side. There will be only one ticket opportunity in terms of redeeming their digital ticket, and that'll be checking in. And when they do that, they'll get a wristband. The same will be true over on the softball field. So if they happen to be going to Drumline first or only to Drumline, there'll be a ticket taking opportunity over there as well. They'll purchase their digital ticket, and then that'll be redeemed there, and they'll be given a wristband. So once they get that wristband at either place, they'll be able to bounce back and forth and go in and out of the facilities, and having that wristband will let us know that they have purchased that virtual ticket and have made those affirmations that we all need for our safety. Let's jump over to Drumline right quick while we're still on the map. As you can see, that's over on the kind of the middle left portion of our map. Those are marked in the pink or purple color, whatever color that is. You'll see there. The softball field, the turf field, is the one closer to the bottom. That's the one we'll be performing for Drumline. And you will enter. You see the A over to the left. That'll be the area where you'll get prepared to do your pre-deck, and then you'll be on deck at point B, and then you'll perform at C right there in the infield area that will be marked, and then you will move over to the left field area where it's marked D for your clinic. So you'll move basically in a straight line. You'll go to the outfield, to that parking lot area, which would be in right field of that softball field. Then you'll move to the outfield dugout area there, B, and then you'll perform there at the infield, and then you'll move to the left field area D for your clinic, and then move on out from there. So that's kind of a review of the map in terms of where you'll park, where you'll check in, where you'll prepare, perform, and then move on to your clinic area. Let's jump, Will, back over to our presentation and go to on-site, just so you'll know some things that are available there at the facility. Bathrooms will be open. There are restrooms on both sides of the stadium, the home side and the visitor side. And there are restrooms at the softball field as well, and those will all be open for your use. Waco ISD has been hosting events, so their staff is well versed in keeping those in great shape for us throughout this day. There will be limited concessions. They'll have limited concessions available. That's kind of become the norm at stadiums and gyms this year. Outside food and drink will not be allowed inside the stadium for spectators or participants. There is a pre-order box lunch from Bush's Chicken that you can do for your school, and that information is linked there on that page that we provided under championship information. You can go to that link. You can pre-order those. I think there's a Sunday noon deadline to get your orders in for that. If you would like to do that for your group, you can do that, and then you can pay for that when you pick it up there at the concession stand. So that's a little bit about the facility that's available. Next slide, Will. On-site check-in and registration. We mentioned that earlier when we were going through the map. When you arrive, please go to that registration area and check in, so we'll know you're there. Your group can be unloading. They can be getting prepared to warm up. But if you'll come check in there at the registration, remember that's going to be on the visitor side of the stadium, right there as you come into the visitor gate. So please help with that, and please do that. The schedule is posted. Vina made a few changes to that based on last minute changes of schools, but please refer to that schedule because it has information of all the times that you're supposed to be prepared to move through the progression of your performance. So please look at that schedule. Please follow that schedule. If you have any questions or issues, like Brian mentioned, with regard to not being able to come last minute, or maybe being stuck in traffic or something, then please let us know and give us a heads up on that. Steve?
Yeah, and speaking of being held up or not being able to be there, if there's fans that cannot be there, we have a question. Will there be a link for the live stream? Yes, there will. The TAPS fan app can get you there, or the link to TAPS TV, and both the Drumline and the fall and marching band performances will be televised on that live stream and available. So again, look at TAPS TV and the TAPS fan app. Okay, Robert.
All right, thanks, Steve. Next is a pre-deck photo. I mentioned that earlier. As you're getting ready to perform and moving through your A, B, C, D progression, it's at point A where we'll get your pre-deck photo. We will also take a photo once, whether you're in drumline or field or marching band. We'll also have a photo once your group is in position, ready to perform. We'll have another photo that will be taken there, and those will be available to you, John, a day or two, I think, after the event. Those will be available, but we'll have those photo opportunities. And then after the awards are done, you will have an opportunity once the awards are presented. If you would like to, before you leave, if you'd like to take your whole group with your awards over in front of the TAPS pillow, that will be there available. You can do that. We'll have people over there helping coordinate that, so we only have one group at a time over there. But that will be an additional opportunity if you choose to do that. We talked about on deck. We talked about when and where that happens. And then moving on to judging, performance and judging. Vina, are you going to pick up for us here?
Sure. Hi, guys. For your performance, just remember that you are allowed to prep play while you're setting up, and setup just begins as soon as you start making your way onto the field and the other group is making their way to their clinician area. For the judging, I just want to remind you that you will be judged in two different ways. We have the rating system, like we do with concert band, where you have a superior or excellent rating based on your performance, based on a rubric. And then as well, you'll be ranked with other schools to determine a champion for the day. For the clinics, we have some really awesome clinicians that will be working with your groups just after performance. This is a great time just to get some hands-on experience. Sometimes the clinicians might ask your students to try something different or to repeat something that they heard on the field, but it's just a really fun time for them to get some immediate feedback from some really cool musicians. And then Robert, if you could talk about the awards.
You bet. Thanks, Vina. Vina's playing hurt today. Those who have talked to her recently, she's had some medical issues that she's kind of working through. So we're trying to pick up the slack as best we can. As you all know, she does a great job coordinating our fine arts and our music competitions throughout the year. We're trying to take over a little bit, give her a little bit of rest, and help her out a little bit. If you look at your schedule, we won't go to that now, but it's just got basically the schedule for the event and then when the awards will be presented. And the way we're going to do awards this year will be slightly different. Obviously, everybody understands while it's been a great opportunity when we do awards to bring all those groups in that category down on the field and everybody's there and we get to do the awards. That's just not real practical in the environment we're living in today. So we're going to do them a little bit differently. And what we're going to do, we'll jump to field band and marching band first. When we get ready to do those awards, what we're going to do when we're presenting awards in that particular division is we're going to announce, you'll have your bands, you'll have your groups. You can certainly come in the stadium. There's plenty of room for you to stay in your group and spread out in the stadium and have your band up in the stands, and we encourage you to do that. But when we get ready to do awards, we're only going to have, when we announce the winner, we're only going to have the drum major or the band director, one person, come down and accept those awards. And when we're in the stadium for field and marching band, our TAPS tent, our headquarters are going to be set up in that first level walkway, kind of the mezzanine area there, where we're going to be doing our broadcast and we will be doing our announcing. That one person, when we make that award announcement, that one person, the drum major or the band director, will come down and accept at that tent, will come down and accept the awards on behalf of their school. When we're at Drumline, we'll be doing something very similar. We'll be making those presentations on the field. You can have your group either in the stands if there's not enough room, stay in your group, stay in your pod, and you can be scattered around along the fences. And the stands will have seats marked, but once again, when we do that award at Drumline, we'll ask only one representative to come down and accept those awards. And then certainly after all the awards are done, you are free to go. If you want to get your group together, stay with your group and don't go take other photos and those opportunities. You're certainly welcome to do that. However, I think and I hope everybody understands, in a year like this, they're just these little things that we've got to modify a little bit and make sure that we're taking care of everybody who's there. So when it comes to awards, that's how we're going to do it. Any questions about that, reach out to us, let us know. We'll have a lot of people there the day of to help and assist, where to go, what to do. Just follow that schedule, and I think we'll be in great shape. Next slide is about COVID protocols. We have those published. We've covered a lot of those just in the course of discussing the particular flow of performance and traffic and fans coming and going. I think we've addressed a lot of that. In general protocols, our expectations is similar to our other TAPS events that are being held and our TAPS games that are being played in the fall. We expect that our fans will be wearing face masks. They certainly need to wear them when they come and go. We would expect that they wear them at any other time when they cannot appropriately socially distance. With regard to your students and those who are performing, we do not require that they wear those when they're actually performing. That's up to you. If you require that at the school level to the degree that you can while they're playing instruments or marching, that's certainly your call at that level. We do not require them when you're actually participating. We do recommend that they have masks when they're coming and going. We do recommend that they have masks at other times. Certainly when you're in your area warming up and all those kinds of things, we'll leave that to you and your protocols that you have in place at your school. But when we're interacting and moving about and not actually performing, face masks are required. So we ask you to honor that. Also with social distancing, please honor that. We've got plenty of room. This is a great facility. It's a big stadium. They're huge parking lots. So we have plenty of room for everybody to come and stay in your group, stay in your pod, and stay socially distanced from everyone else as best you can. And then finally, we'll have signs posted that will have reminders about the affirmations that everybody is making. Remember, as the director, you're making that affirmation for all of your students, for all of your staff, for anybody that's coming in with your performing group. You're making that affirmation to us when you come and register. And then all of our spectators are doing the same through the zero cost digital ticketing option. So those are the things we have in place. If you have any questions about that, always reach out to us, info@taps.biz. We're here to assist and answer all those questions. And certainly we look forward to seeing everybody on Monday, and we will be there and easily identified if you have any questions when you're on site. Steve, we might have a little weather on Monday. We don't know. It's Texas, but visit with our people a little bit about our thoughts on weather.
Okay. First of all, let me support what Robert said. We're not just planning this. This is a choreography. We need everybody entering, exiting at the right spot. Hit your marks, hit your time, and we'll be able to keep that moving. And if everybody else will follow the plan, I think we'll have a great event. Also, we again pushing you to share the 2020 fall band info letter that we have posted online and we've sent out to you, and some of the links that we're having questions about are on that letter. The fan map on where to enter is very important. If they park on the wrong side, grandma's going to have a lot of steps that day to get all the way around to the entrance, so get them in the right spot. The ticket link is there. Also the Twitter, the Facebook links, and also TAPS TV network is there. So all those good links are all on that page. So it's a very good resource. So please share and push that out to everyone that's involved. And then moving on to weather, we have a great partner, Earth Networks, who is going to give us a forecast. But we don't just get a forecast. We have a team of meteorologists working just for us for this event at this time at this place. And so they'll be giving us an up-to-date forecast. And also, if we do get weather, then we'll be the people that we have a direct line to. So we have the phone that goes right to these guys to see what are we going to do, and as we work through it. So we're very blessed to have Earth Networks, and Brian's going to talk about where you can find that information for yourself.
Whether it's you or your fans, if you'll download that TAPS fan app, it is free. One of the buttons on there is weather. That will go to the championship weather page, and we'll be updating that every time Earth Networks updates us. Then we will update that TAPS fan app weather page. Additionally, just kind of echoing back, last week or earlier this week, we posted a TAPS fall band fan post on the website. Kelly's going to shoot you all that link again here as we get done with this webinar. We highly encourage you send that out to your folks that are either coming or staying home. It'll have all the links. And as you go forward, TAPS Band is the Twitter account. So as you're taking pictures, as you're doing things in the parking lot, please include us in that. John Skees, our director of media, really likes to build that out, as do we. If you're going to take a load in the bus pic, then shoot it in there and keep it together with all of us. We are looking forward to seeing everybody. The live stream will be 2 continuous streams, one for fall band, both field and marching, and one for drumline. Those are free. You can interchange between the two. At the end of that, they'll be available for download. So I think everything is good. That we just got a question popped up. I'm going to hit it just because I'm ADD like that. When the flag jumps up, I want to answer it. It says on payment, you can either bring your check with you and turn it in. If you're not able to get that check and bring it with you after the event, Rhonda from our office will send you an invoice through QuickBooks. So whichever is easiest for you this year, please do that. So bring a check, mail a check, or we can send you an invoice and make sure we take care of that. So appreciate that question. Robert, any other questions that you've seen on the screen?
No, I think we're good. That's all we see at this point. If you think of something later, always reach out to our office. We'll be glad to help you. We'll be here obviously today and tomorrow, and like Brian mentioned, you can shoot it to info or leave a message and we will get it over the weekend if something happens last minute.
So we're going to give you that number again. It's 254-947-9268. And if you would just include my extension, that's extension 1006. If you have to have a phone call, that if you have a problem, that'll pop up on, with technology, it pops up everywhere, to be honest with you, on my phone, on my iPad, on my desktop, everywhere. So we'll be ready. I do want to send a shout of thanks out to Roger Bemis, formerly of Beaumont Kelly High School. He is retired, and he's going to come back, and he will be our field and marching band representative, controlling that contest. So we're really happy Roger's going to continue on. We really need to thank Bob Vetter and all the work that he's done to arrange our judges, and Dina getting our clinicians along with Bob. That's really going to be what we think is the best part of this show, is the fact that the clinicians are able to talk with your kids and work with your kids at the end. And then Robert Huckabee, if you're in Drumline, Robert and Rhonda will be out there welcoming you and walking you through the process in Drumline. Vina has been on the sideline. If she's there, say howdy, keep your distancing and wave, but we will carry on. She'll be there, I'm sure, on Hangouts telling us what we're doing right and what we're doing wrong. But we will do our very best to get you through. If there's any other questions, we're here to help. 254-947-9268, info@taps.biz. Or if you need additional information, go to www.taps.biz, click on Fine Arts, click on Fall Band or Drumline. The information should be there. If you can't find us, let us know. I don't see any other questions popping up. I want to thank you for joining us here today. If we can be of assistance, please reach out. And again, thank you for participating in Fall Band and Drumline 2020. John, I'll let you finish up with the good stuff at the end.
Thank you, Brian. Thank you, everybody in the office. That's it, folks. I'm going to have this recording available to you later today. You're going to receive an email with a link to it on YouTube. If you need anything else, or if you have trouble with recording, please let us know, info@taps.biz. And with that, you folks enjoy the rest of your day.